In the near future, South Africa faces an unprecedented crime wave, prompting the government to deploy a robotic police force called Scouts. These robots, designed by Tetraval Corporation, are equipped with a bulletproof system created by engineer Dion Wilson, ensuring that only authorized updates can modify their software, making them impervious to hacking. Tetraval also produces a larger, human-controlled robot named Moose, designed by Vincent Moore, who opposes artificial intelligence and believes human oversight is essential for safety. One day, Scout 22, a heavily damaged unit, is brought to Tetraval for repairs. The engineers note that this particular robot sustains severe damage every time it is deployed. After completing repairs, they send it back to the field. Meanwhile, a gang of thieves, led by Ninja, flees from pursuing Scouts after a failed heist. They crash their van but narrowly escape, only to face their gang leader, Hippo, who demands they repay him 20 million rand within 7 days or face death. To prove his seriousness, Hippo kills one of their crew. The confrontation attracts the Scouts, who engage the gang in a fierce shootout, leaving many gang members dead. Ninja and his team narrowly escape in their van, but one member, America, is injured. Following this event, the government orders the production of 100 more Scouts, viewing them as a success. Meanwhile, Vincent becomes frustrated as Tetraval CEO, Michelle Bradley, continues to prioritize the Scouts over his Moose project. At the same time, Dion secretly works on a groundbreaking project, an artificial consciousness program that could enable robots to think, feel, and create. However, Michelle dismisses his innovation, stating that Tetraval focuses on defense, not creativity. Determined to test his program, Dion smuggles the damaged Scout 22, along with the necessary tools, out of the company. On his way, Ninja and his gang ambush him, forcing him to drive to their hideout. At gunpoint, they demand that Dion reprogram Scout 22 to serve them. Despite his warnings about the untested software, they insist. Dion repairs the robot, installs the new program, and activates it. The robot, now named Chappie by Yolandi, exhibits childlike behavior, hiding from humans and learning basic words like watch, its first spoken word. Dion tries to nurture Chappie's development, teaching it morality and creativity, while Yolandi treats it like her child. Ninja, however, grows impatient and attempts to turn Chappie into a weapon, teaching it to use guns and act like a gangster. This creates tension between Dion and Ninja. Meanwhile, Vincent discovers that Dion has stolen the guard key and tracks its signal to Scout 22. He begins plotting to recover it. One day, Ninja and America abandon Chappie in a dangerous area to force it to toughen up. The robot is attacked by gang members but refuses to fight back due to a promise it made to Dion not to harm others. Chappie escapes but is later captured by Vincent and his team. They disable it, remove the guard key, and attempt to dismantle it. Chappie resists, escapes their grasp, and returns to the hideout. Severely damaged, Yolandi and America repair Chappie using scavenged parts, including a new arm. As Chappie grows more intelligent, it begins to question its existence. Yolandi reads it a story about a black sheep, teaching it that its inner self matters more than its mechanical parts. Over time, Chappie starts to bond with its family, even referring to Yolandi as mommy and Ninja as daddy. However, Ninja continues to manipulate Chappie, teaching it how to fight and use weapons under the guise of protecting the family. Meanwhile, Vincent, now in possession of the guard key, devises a plan to sabotage Tetraval's operations. He gains control of the Scout network and prepares to deploy Moose to eliminate Chappie and prove that his human-controlled robot is superior. The stage is set for a dramatic showdown between Chappie, its newfound sense of self, and the forces determined to destroy it. Throwing shurikens and using nunchucks, Chappie gets a full gangster makeover complete with a paint job and jewelry to match the aesthetic. Sometime later, Ninja decides to teach Chappie how to steal cars, convincing him by saying a naughty man stole from them first. Chappie confronts a man, destroying the car in the process and ripping off its door. He scolds the man for being a thief, drags him out of the car, and throws him across the street. Ninja and America scold Chappie for damaging the car and hand him a gun, clarifying he doesn't need to fire it. Over the next few hours, Chappie steals multiple cars, intimidating drivers who mistake him for a scout. After selling the stolen cars, the gang heads to an abandoned building filled with gangsters watching dogfights. Chappie unintentionally scares the gangsters away, who think he's a scout. While waiting, he notices a dead dog and another trapped in a cage, which makes him sad. Ninja uses this moment to teach Chappie about survival, comparing life to the dogs, you either fight or die. Ninja explains that Chappie's battery will eventually run out, leading Chappie to agree to a big heist to get the money for a new body. Later at the hideout, Dion arrives and is disheartened to see Chappie's gangster transformation. Chappie, however, dismisses Dion's disapproval, blaming him for giving him a short lifespan. Meanwhile, at Tetraval, Vincent uses the guard key to upload a firmware called Genesis, disabling all scout robots across the country. This causes chaos, with criminals escaping and wreaking havoc. Chappie collapses, and Ninja accuses Dion of being responsible. In the ensuing confrontation, Dion manages to escape with Chappie, taking him to Tetraval to fix him. At Tetraval, Dion quarantines the Genesis firmware and reactivates Chappie. While leaving, Chappie becomes curious about Vincent's moose project and an unfinished scout model. Chappie wishes to transfer his consciousness into the new body, but Dion explains that it's impossible. Vincent overhears this and, frustrated, begins plotting further. Back at the gang's base, Chappie tests the helmet stolen from Moose on Yolandi. After upgrading their computer setup with video game consoles for additional power, Chappie successfully uploads his consciousness into the system, displaying it on a screen. Excited, Chappie agrees to participate in the heist to fund his new body. During the heist, the gang blocks an armored car on a highway. Chappie incapacitates the guards with a knife, believing he's just putting them to sleep. After blowing open the car, Chappie steals the money while reporters in a helicopter record everything. He soon realizes one of the guards is in pain, not sleeping, but the gang pulls him away before he can comprehend it. At Tetraval, Dion discovers Vincent uploaded Genesis. Furious, Dion confronts him but is interrupted by news of Chappie's crimes. Seizing the moment, Vincent convinces Michelle to deploy Moose. Meanwhile, Hippo sees the news and declares he wants Chappie for himself. As the gang celebrates their successful heist, Ninja reveals he lied about getting Chappie a new body. Enraged, Chappie throws him to the ground. Dion arrives, warning them about an incoming threat. Moments later, Hippo and his men arrive, demanding the money and Chappie. A gunfight ensues but is interrupted by Moose, which crushes America and annihilates most of Hippo's gang with cluster bombs. Ninja and Yolandi manage to escape with Chappie. Moose, piloted by Vincent, continues its assault. Despite Chappie's efforts to fight back, the robot incapacitates him and destroys his helmet. Ninja and Yolandi make a last stand, with Yolandi sacrificing herself to destroy Moose. Devastated, Chappie uses a detonator to finally blow up Moose. Determined to save Dion, Chappie drives to Tetraval. There, he confronts Vincent, violently incapacitating him but ultimately sparing his life. Chappie uses the helmet to transfer Dion's consciousness into a robot body. In return, Dion helps Chappie transfer his consciousness into a new scout body. The two robots reunite with Ninja and give Yolandi a proper burial. Meanwhile, the government announces that all Scout robots have been decommissioned, reinstating human officers. Chappie uses the stolen helmet data to construct a new robot body and uploads Yolandi's consciousness into it, reuniting with